So that's it. It is all over. Chelsea win it by the only goal. Result, no question, the most important thing, however it came. Final score, 1-0. And after all of that, Jim, what are you thinking?
Well, to me, this is a result, Peter, that says an awful lot more than the scoreline suggests. You know, after the goal, the team just settled down and looked surprisingly comfortable and didn't really need to work too hard.
So thank you very much, Jim, for joining me. That brings us to the end of our coverage. So from us both, a very good evening.
I look at you, sha-la-la-la. You look at me, sha-la. You kinda shine, huh? What you do as you said you would, you would, you would.
Effort of the game. Liverpool have won it. As much industry as inspiration. Whatever the formula, it has worked for them. How do you look back on the game then, Jim?
Yeah, we knew there was a sizable gap in the quality of both squads and the story was told in predictable fashion.
So many thanks to Jim Beglin. That's all we have time for. Good evening to you.
Agenda agora tá tão cheia.
brings it to a close. A decent win via a very competent performance. Without doubt, they were the better side, and the result reflects as much. Your final thoughts, Jim?
Yeah, we knew there was a sizable gap in the quality of both squads, and the story was told in predictable fashion.
Well, that's it for tonight's match, so it just remains for me to thank Jim Beglin alongside me and to wish you all a very good evening. And that's it. And stalemate. One, if not for fans, then perhaps for coaches, satisfied by organisation and solidity. Little cutting edge at either end, and it finishes 0-0. Well, what are your thoughts on today's game then, Jim?
Well, neither side could get over the line here. Perhaps one team might be happier, but at the final reckoning, it's honours even and no complaints.
That's where we have to end it. From me, Peter Drury, and my co-commentator, Jim Beglin, a very good evening to you all. Final whistle. One goal settled it. A tense and exciting game that just got away.
I've been in this position myself, and this will be difficult to take. They did everything right but score, but at least I suppose they can reflect on a few positives from this one.
Well, thanks to Jim alongside me, and as the fans make their way home, so must we. Good evening to you. It is all over. Crystal Palace, hold on. It's a narrow squeak, bit of luck, some judgment. 1-0 the score at the final whistle. Crystal Palace leave it late, but in the end, it was great.
Well, this looked like it had a draw written all over it, Peter, so credit where it's due. They found a way to win it, and they can take great satisfaction from never losing that focus.
Well, that's it for tonight's match, so it just remains for me to thank Jim Beglin alongside me and to wish you all a very good evening. The final act. Tottenham always looked the more driven side, probably the better side, and nobody is arguing about the result. How do you look back on the game then, Jim?
Yeah, and a result that was true to form, a big team beating a not-so-big team, and a lesson dealt.
Well, that's it for tonight's match, so it just remains for me to thank Jim Beglin alongside me and to wish you all a very good evening. So that's it. It is all over. Always in the balance, and in the end, one goal was enough. They are narrowly beaten.
Look, I think a draw might have been a much fairer result today. It's just that one crucial second-half goal. That's what cost them.
Thanks to Jim alongside me, and as the fans make their way home, so must we. Good evening to you. And panache and perseverance, and in the end parity. A really good game to watch. Your reflections then, Jim?
Listen, the more this game went on, a draw was always likely to be on the card. So overall, I don't think anyone will be complaining too much about what they've got.
So many thanks to Jim Beglin. That's all we have time for. Good evening to you. Referee looks at his watch and blows his whistle. Leeds hold on. It's a narrow squeak, bit of luck, some judgment. 1-0 the score at the final whistle.
Yeah, it was never a match that was going to blow us all away, Peter, but I felt the team did a lot right, especially that well-timed goal.
And all that remains for me is to thank Jim Beglin. That's it from us tonight. A very good evening to one and all.
Stop wasting your time, just move it along. Could it be long? Wait, let me take a step. funny thing about it is knowing you don't deserve it. More than here to live inside a factory of fear. Still redacted, but it's actually been happening for years. Gone.